Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's only one story. The Only One in the Room has a wide variety of guests, from prisoners to abuse survivors to swingers. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee that Only One in the Room will have a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Shake those titties.
Mine are in pain, so no thank you.
Yeah. Melissa's bleeding, everybody.
Not yet.
Oh, you're having your pre-period flu cramps?
Yeah.
Oh, those are so bad.
But usually when I cramp, I don't get the flu.
Oh.
I'll get the flu or cramps.
Well, that's...
Neither one of them I want more than the other.
No, but at least they're like telling you, we're not going to give it to you all at once.
Yeah. And then watch this be the time I get both.
I'm knocking on wood. Oh, I always forget that the fucking chilblains, like blisters things that I have, they like don't hurt really, like when it's not cold out. Mm-hmm. And even when it's cold out, because like they're numb. But then I forget and I'll like knock my knuckles on something. I go, oh, I forgot those fuckers were there. Oh, the fun part about these though is when it starts to warm, when your feet warm up or your hands warm up, you start to warm up, they get itchy. And when I tell you, my toes, I was in bed praying mantis, like rubbing my toes together, just like scratching my feet all fucking night, that I was like, maybe I want them to be cold again. I do.
Is there something you can put on it to stop the itching?
Maybe. You're supposed to keep them very dry though.
Like a powder, like an itch powder?
Oh, maybe.
They have foot like itch powder, so like for like athletes' feet, but I feel like it would still... It's because when you think about athletes' feet and then they say things like ringworm, it makes you think about stuff like that. But like get some like Gold Bond that's medicated for itch.
I hate powdery substance, like that consistency. But I think if I did it and then like put socks on, or I did it and then I didn't move.
Or they have the spray kind too.
Oh, that's so much better for me.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I need to write that down. My to-do list is growing exponentially and I keep forgetting about things that are on there that are quite important. What did you... Okay.
Do you put it in order of most importance?
No, because I can't be ranking those things because there is no real true hierarchy. I have to go based on where the dopamine is.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm just like, okay, that's definitely not important. But the ones that give me the least amount of dopamine, I'm just like, I can't do it. And then I text Mods and I say, I have to do this thing. And then he'll be like, let me see if I can do it for you. And if he can, he goes, okay, we'll do it when I get home and we'll sit down and do it together. I'm like, great, thank you. Because if something is not fun, I'm physically incapable of doing it.
Yeah, I understand that. I do have things on my list that are more important, but I'm like, I can do this with a sleepy brain. So I move it, down. And I'm like, I need this when my brain is awake. So I'll move it up, even though it's not as important.
Yep. No, I'm all about like autopilot tasks. Mm-hmm. Like if I can do something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Whenever I can do it. So how was your weekend?
It was good. I'm kind of like on lockdown of not doing anything because I told you I was applying for Disney has a writing program. Did I tell you this?
I think
yes.
you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm applying for that. And so I want both my scripts to be, very polished. So I'm not doing anything until the end of May. Anything
Okay, nice.
fun. Yeah. Unless the Barbie thing comes up, which 100% doing.
Speaking of that, did you see SNL did and this
American
would be great.
Girl.
Yeah, I was like, have you watched it? Because when I referenced American Girl dolls, you were like, what about? You didn't understand the niche lore of one I was saying. So I was like, that one, the one with the little braids and the
I knew who she was, yeah, but I
laughed so hard.
The other, it was just. They're all just very racist. So I wasn't, because of the time that they take place in. And so I just wasn't, I had no interest in reading the other ones that weren't Addie. And then Addie was even like slave time. And I'm like.
Did you watch the SNL sketch?
Oh, yes, I did.
Addie was Mats is like they're going around the circle and like Mats doesn't know anything about it. And he's just like, wow, okay, this is of a time. And he's just like, okay. And he's like waiting, basically being like, okay, we're going around the circle. And here's all these white people from all these different times saying these things. He goes, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good for the only black girl in the room. And I was like, oh, wait, no, her story is exactly what you fucking think it is. And she's one of my favorite of the SNL cast members. She's so fucking funny. Is she in anything like movies recently?
I don't think so. But she also helped bring... I don't want to say bring back Dionne Warwick, but she, made her for a younger generation to know who Dionne Warwick was. And then because of that, Dionne's niece started the Twitter account. So it's like she helped with that.
What? Wait, I need to find.
Because she plays Dionne Warwick on those skits. I don't think she's in Ego.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing mostly SNL at this point, and she's got one voiceover thing, and yeah, that's like pretty much it. One episode of Shrill, but yeah, someone put her in a new version. They haven't done those in a long time. We not so far into a scary movie kind of movie, but whatever happened to the Scream Queens. A campy kind of scary, but not scary, that whole thing. She would be so funny in that.
Yeah, she'd be good at.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy needs to pop on over to SNL and put her in the rounds. Put her in coach.
But yeah, this weekend I was just writing, which was good. So,
productive.
I'm being productive. I feel like I'm really in a good groove right now. So I was writing for I have to write for my class that I'm in, my lab that I'm in, and then also for this application that I'm applying for. And then Gabe and I are starting a new project. He wrote this screenplay a couple years ago. So now I'm going to produce it, and we're working on getting funding and stuff. So
wow, that's exciting.
But yeah, so I've been chugging along, and I don't know. I kind of feel I feel like for the podcast stuff, in the last few years, it's kind of just been plug and play, where it's not that much work to do a lot of things because everything is just kind of self-run now. And in the last few weeks, I feel like I've really been producing because there's been more new challenges that have come up. And so, yeah, it's just been podcasts and writing and maybe a screenplay that will turn into a film. Things have been going well.
Hell yeah. No writer strike for you. You're not a writer on strike.
Right. What'd you do this weekend?
More importantly than what I did this weekend, I'd tell you what I did Friday.
Okay.
So Friday, you should know that I wanted to shower on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I was like, really need to shower, really need to wash my hair. So by Friday, I hadn't done that. My skin picked. My hair, disgusting. I'm wearing braids that I've had for 2 days. I've had all of these deadlines for anyone's watching my YouTube channel. This month, I am having a lot of like ad placements and sponsorships, which is great. I definitely feel guilty about it because I'm like, oh no, I'm still in that era of like, you shouldn't make money from this thing. And it's like, no, that's such, and all of the fucking male YouTubers like have a sponsor in like literally every single video and like it's nothing and people aren't like mad about it or whatever. And I like love both of the things, but it's just been, it's been a lot and a very quick turnaround. So I've just been caught up in filming and editing and doing all of this kind of stuff. So I hadn't gotten around to showering or taking care of myself, but it was on the list of that day. It was what I was going to do. So I had just gotten some spiders out of the corner of our, like the ceiling, the one in the living room where it's got like it's like very ornate. And so I was getting spiders out of there with the Dyson. And I see someone like coming through our gate, like waving through the front yard. And I was like, who's that? Thankfully I have my glasses on. And I'm like, oh, it's my neighbor from like across the street. And I was like, I'll open it. She looks amazing. She's in like a cute little denim jumpsuit and like a faux fur cheetah print like long coat. And I opens her. She's like, I'm so sorry if this is weird, but like I just like wanted to see if like you and Mott's like want to hang out. Like we like really want to be like friends with you guys. And I was like, bitch, Mott's and I want to be friends with you guys so bad. Like we're obsessed with you. She's like, no way. And like we literally ended up.
Did you
like,
tell her that you've talked about her on your podcast?
No, but I will tell her. No, but I told her, I was like, so I'm not going to say their names, but like it's a couple. And the funny part, and I think I've established it on the podcast, this specific thing is that her wife worked with Mott's in some capacity. They didn't work at the same company, but they used to both work at a company. The company that she works at now used to have Mott's old company used to have like a contract with. And so they realized like very early on into talking when they asked what each other did was that like, oh, we've been on emails together. And even just from like observing them and talking to them, you know, she's very like get shit done, power through, like problem solving. And her wife is like, I'm going to go to a nursery. I'm going to get some plants. Like I'm a little more like creative, a little bit more artsy. And Mott's and I've constantly made a joke that I'm like, that's you, that's me. Like and as her and I are talking more, I finally go, I have to tell you. And I told her this and she's laughing. She then tells me what she does. She's a pastry chef. And I go, oh my God. And I'm like, bitch, like you're kidding me. Like this. And I was like, we're both dying of laughter. And like, it just keeps going and keeps going that I'm like, oh my God, like your wife is Mott's, like you are me. Like we're the same. And I was like, we have such a huge friend crush on you. Like we want to be, and she's like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Like you have no idea. Like I was like, is this going to be weird if I come over? And I was, again, I looked like absolute garbage and the house was a mess. And I finally was just like, she was like talking about some of the things that they were doing at their house. And we were talking about like what stuff we were doing with ours. And I was like referencing something. She goes, oh, I've like seen the pictures of your house on Zillow. Like I've looked at all of the house on the street. I go, oh, me too. I've seen the inside of your house on Zillow and Redfin as well. And she was like, yeah, you've got all the like beautiful kitchen things or whatever. And like, oh, that living room. And I was like, the place is like ridiculously messy, but like, do you want to come see it? And she's like, oh my God, yes. And so I'm letting my neighbor who we've like been friendly, but who I've had a massive friend crush on. Not only I'm giving her a tour of my home. I haven't showered in like a week. My hair is disgusting. I look like a complete mess. There's like literally food in my teeth. And like, I think I had like blood sows barbecue, like on the corner of my mouth. Like it was a mess and I'm showing her everything and the whole house. And it was so fun. We like walked through the whole yard and Mott's had to got home late from work that night. So we weren't able to hang out with them. But she's like, no, we're just like going to be friends and like hang out like whenever.
I love that for you.
I'm so fucking excited. And so Mott's parents, they still live at the house that he grew up in Denver. And I've told you this, but like they share essentially a yard next with this couple who has lived there for as long as they have, and they're Mott's and his brother's like godparents, and they're like best friends, and they have dinner with them twice a week. They just like alternate, and they did that even when Mott's was growing up. It would be like, oh, they would just
that's
be there.
That's why he doesn't like leftovers.
Legitimately why. Like that's the culprit, is that he was spoiled for adults cooking. Oh, there's just so many, like very much village kind of vibes. And I was like, oh my God, Mott's, this could be our version. Like this is just so cool, and it's just so exciting, and we're loving it. And it's so cool to know that the people, like, we love everybody on our street. Like, everyone is so nice. Everyone is so cool. But we had, like, the friend crushes on them. And we were like, oh, my God, they probably think we're such losers. No, they also had friend crushes on us. But we did discover and learn that this is the first time they've owned a home, which does make us feel bad because we thought that they were seasoned veterans in this. And they're not. They're just good at it. I'm, like, very excited. And of all of the social life things that I get very overwhelmed with, like big social groups and like making plans and doing that stuff, especially in the, like, still in a pandemic, that this is so fucking convenient.
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
That you are making new friends, a new couple friend.
I've never had a couple friend.
Yeah, and that they're like people that you vibe with. So I'm really happy for you, especially because you've brought them up probably in every other episode since they've moved in. Did you see that there is a new COVID variant that has symptoms where it just kind of, it's like allergies?
Jail.
So I was finally feeling a little bit more comfortable, but now I'm like, I have allergies.
What's my barometer here?
What? Yes.
No, that's not fair because I also have allergies.
I know, and that's why I'm telling you.
By the way, do you know what I figured out in my same quest that, oh, Megan, you can't have your orange flavored, like, citric acid electrolyte drink because it reacts the same way, vitamin C, when you take your Adderall because it cancels it out. It's allergy medicine's supposed to do the same thing. You should just, like, never fucking take anything with citrus. I know. You gave me orange juice in the morning energy, so I wasn't sure.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't drink. All I drink is water. And then, like, things
I know,
that
but I could
create
see you making, like, a stack of, like, silver dollar pancakes and, like, you give me, like, continent. Like,
I like
you could make a continental
cranberry
breakfast.
sauce.
Oh.
I mean, not cranberry sauce, but yes, I do like cranberry sauce, but cranberry juice is my go-to juice in the morning if I'm, like, out somewhere. But if I'm home, I'm just drinking water or milk that I made.
Wow, you make milk? I've actually never heard you speak about this. Yeah, so that's apparently another thing. So I've had to work on the timing of it, and it's stressful, and I don't like it. So I've just been setting all these timers, and Mott's has been trying to help me to figure out what the best course of action is. Like, do I wake up and take my electrolytes, then wait an hour, then take my meds, or do I take my meds, then take my Like, what are we doing?
Well, tune in for But Am I Wrong this week? Because might maybe have a solution for you.
Is it cocaine?
No, Megan, it's not
I'm
cocaine.
never doing cocaine. Cocaine scares me so much.
Yeah.
It's so scary. The fact that people just do it.
Do it.
I'm like stop.
Bump.
Yeah, I'm like, stop doing this. This is, like, really scary, especially now.
I've never been around anybody that was just, like, a joy to be around on cocaine.
No, like, when I tell you, I was talking to a friend and they were, like, retelling a story of them and they're like, oh my God, and I was, like, so coked out. And I go, I need you to stop talking about this story because, like, I will be transported back to that occasion with you. And, like, there in my life, I was about to commit premeditated murder. Like, I was ready to go away for life because I was going to kill you. Like, I was plotting in my head. I'm like, this person has to die right now. Like, I've never been more annoyed with another person in my life. Like, it was about to get physical, and they could take me without a doubt.
Yeah. Not a good time.
No one's a good time.
It's only
out.
But even, like, people on coke that are around other people that are around coke, they think that they're having a good time from the inside, but from the outside you can see that they're all making each other miserable.
It's just, like, really chaotic, and then everyone just keeps doing more and more because it's like, well, then it'll get better. And it's like, no. That's, like, actually not the solution. Yeah. Anyways, test your drugs, everybody. Exciting news. Fyre Fest 2 is happening.
Oh, yeah. Well, so, I sent it to you, didn't I? Yes, I did.
You did, but I forgot about it because I saw it again. But didn't we talk about on a recent episode, we're like,
yes,
kind of want it back.
Last week, we literally talked about it. And then that day, when I laid my little head down to do my evening scrolls, there it was, Fyre Fest 2.
So we need to figure out how to harness this apparently like power that we have, because we'll say things on this fucking and then they happen.
Right.
Like, and I've talked about them before. Brooke and Connor make a podcast. They have the same ability. Like, they've started to manifest things. The one I cannot get over, Melissa, that is the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, I'm not watching their episodes in order. Like, I think I watched like the first episode of their podcast, and then I kind of bounced around, and now I'm just watching whatever. You really don't have to watch them in sequence. I was showing Mott's one episode, and it's like one of the few ones they're pre-recording, and they start the episode with like, so this is the day we're recording, so just know, because they talk about pop culture. They're like, if anything comes out, anything happens between now and the day that you're listening to this, like, we're not ignoring it. Like, you know, and they're like, but we have like such like manifesting powers. Like, we're just going to manifest that like nobody, like, they kept saying like, if somebody dies, it's not that we don't give a shit. We just don't know. And they're both like, you know what? Nobody's going to die. No one's going to die. And they're like, what if someone like really fucking important dies and all this stuff? The day that the podcast gets released, or right around that same time, the Queen dies. And they like the next podcast they record, they're like, so I'm so sorry to all the monarchists that we murdered your queen. And I just think like they have clearly there's the power of a podcast, and it's not monetary. The power of the podcast is we apparently can manifest things that we want to happen. Yes. And Fyre Fest 2 is
FF2, baby.
FF2 is happening. And I just need, if anyone's listening, you know who I need in the promo? DJ Khaled and Pete Davidson. I just think that
would be a good combination.
I told Mons that if I had like unlimited resources, like the best present I could ever get him would be like a custom DJ Khaled song. And like,
we the best.
Yeah, literally. And like Mons can do his favorite dance, just like rubbing his hands together. Like he like lives for DJ Khaled music videos. Like, I just love their dancing. I go, they're not dancing. They're like bending their knees and like kind of swaying and rubbing their hands together. He's like, I love it. I could do that. I go, well, yeah. So I'm so curious what's going to happen. I want like an Anna Delvey crossover.
Well, there is a crossover in the Anna Delvey TV show. If you would watch it, she goes to stay with him briefly.
And I think they like
know
friends.
Each other. So I don't know if they're friends, but they do know each other. She tried to, well, I forgot. One of them was trying to loop the other in, but then, no. The thing was, he told her about it. I don't know if this is real or not, but in the show, he told her about it. And she goes, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Hey, Anna, might have been on to something. Might have been on. But then we wouldn't have gotten like the beauty and the magic that we did.
He wouldn't have been in the show if it didn't happen. So
no, facts. And like, I just think that
this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think that's what she said.
I love the accent that she did for that.
Yes.
Because it's like an accent putting on an accent putting on an accent. So I'm so curious who's going to go. I would also assume that there's going to be is it Mike the Situation? Is that the one who he befriended in jail?
I don't know.
No, he became I
don't think I read anything about him.
Who's the Jersey Shore cast member who went to jail for tax evasion?
That sounds right, but I
know it happened, but I don't remember which one it was.
No, I mean, it was
Mike Sorrento. No, Sorrentino. Mike the Situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I said it sounded right, I meant it sounded that guy.
Because I mean, it sounds like a lot of them could commit. Not Snooki. Snooki would never. Maybe. And you know what?
If her younger.
I would go, what's your reason?
I don't think now, but like younger, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, tax evasion under the age of 25 is an accident. Like,
yeah,
that is a full-blown fucking tax evasion under making like less than $250,000 a year is also an accident. Unless you have ADHD or dyscalculia, and then it's always an accident. Unless you pay somebody else to do your tax evasion.
I was going to say that you got to, get somebody else in on it.
That's why I have someone else in on it. I would have committed tax evasion every year.
Yeah, I don't understand it, even though like on Gabe's podcast, Bad with Money, we just had somebody on that was talking about taxes, and it was talking about how easy it is, but the government makes it harder for us, which of course.
They tell you guess how much you should pay. And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me, just guess.
In the same way that I don't like to wash my car, I don't like to do my taxes, so I get someone else to do it.
I went through my first car wash in years with Mott's last weekend. I don't think it was this weekend. Last weekend. The only time I'd done it before was in high school, and I was high. And I don't know how I survived that, because I was not high, and I was like, this is terrible. It was so loud, and there was so many. It was just
the colors. If they use the foam and it just skeets out at you, and then it
was jarring. Yeah. The whole experience was sensory overload. I was like, I am glad I did this one time. Now I don't need to do it again.
There's this one place in Venice. It might be technically Marina del Rey. I don't know. Whatever. They blend together.
Yep.
And it's like pirate themed. And so it's very long, and they have different like pirates in the car wash, like statues.
Shut the fuck. Like it's the Pirates of the Caribbean ride to Disneyland, except it's
cleaning your car. And I used to go there when I first moved here. I went there like twice. And they have options where like you can drive through, or
the
like the people that work through can do it, and then they'll like dry your car off and stuff. And it was like an extra $10. And the first couple of times I was like, never again. I'm just gonna have them do it. But yeah, it's weird. If you want an app where people come to your house to wash your car, I have one, and that's what I do now.
That's what Kyle was doing when he lived in LA.
It sounds me and Kyle connect on a lot of similar things.
The most, when we were hanging out, he was like, I have like a problem. And I was like, you're vaping? And he goes, first of all, that's an attack. And I go, well, it is a problem. We'll talk about it after. What's the other problem? He can't stop ordering things from Essence. So like he literally just bought like a Jacquemus t-shirt for like $75 and like throw pillows and all this shit. And I was like, you and Melissa need to like get into your goddamn fucking weird like he's like, oh, have you seen this? Like, look at this like Danish custom like glass blower making these like artisan. And I'm like, where are you finding these obscure rich people fucking things on your like, doing well for yourself budget, but like not Bezos budget? I was like, you and Melissa need to fucking talk about this shit. Cause like, you're on the same level. Like you're both always discovering like, this is going to be me living in a like sterile and bubble, like metallic palace of like futuristic minimalism. I'm like,
yes.
Nice.
I found this amazing outdoor kitchen that you would love.
I love an outdoor kitchen.
This is like top notch. Let me send you a pic of it real quick. I just sent it to you on Instagram.
It's very... Is this in Utah or California?
I think it's in California.
Only two options.
It's a party, of course.
It's from Builders of Insta. And if you are familiar with real estate and styles, me asking if it's California or Utah should give you a good idea of what this home looks like. But it's essentially, the outdoor kitchen is just a giant room that just has windows, assumedly, or like doors that are all like tucked in, so it's just all open air. But then like legitimately a full on fucking industrial Emerald Lagasse Rachel Ray level kitchen in this giant compound. Wow,
incredible, right?
There are palm trees in Utah
if you fly them in.
That does not. I know, but I was like, that's not even, I don't even think native here, but they are native at this point here. Yeah. But Utah, like, why are you trying to bring in an invasive, like, non-native species at this point? Like, I feel like we've learned our lessons. Wow. That's gorgeous. I would love to have like a little outdoor kitchen, but more importantly, I think we need to redo our kitchen first.
Yes.
So that'll be the plan. And our neighbor, they're also redoing their kitchen. And we were both talking about how like neither of us wanted a house with like a new kitchen because nobody actually cooks in those fucking kitchens. So they're not intuitive and they're all stupid. And so she was like, we're going to be able to share so many vendors. I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. And I'm
a dream. Maybe you can get some discounts if they're going between the two.
We're doing the same thing with like an arborist. And we're having today, LA Water and Power is coming to check out the trees that are touching our power lines. And Mons was like, he called them and insisted that like, my wife is home, knock on the door, ring the doorbell and ring. I mean, he always says wife.
I know he does.
He did this. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I told Melissa, he constantly would call me his wife before we were engaged because it just makes people do things faster. I'm like, what? Okay. Like, he's like, it's a level of respect for a man. And so he's like, they're going to call you and do all that. So like, they won't startle you. And I was like, okay, that'll be nice. Before Fyre season.
Firefest 2023 in your backyard. Anyway, well, that's all I really have. Nothing new is going on, but a lot of excitement is happening. I feel content right now. We'll see how long it lasts, but I feel content.
Hey, I think that we ride this wave as long as you fucking can.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan to me. So let us know. Would you go to Firefest? Should we get a Firefest sponsor for the show? Should we record a podcast at Firefest?
Yes, to all the above.
I think so too. An exclusive with Anna Delvey as she's there.
Oh God.
It'd be pretty fun.
I think we'd actually get along with her. To be honest.
I think we would too.
Yep.
Yeah. She's like a non-stuffy Elizabeth Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
I respect women in business.
All right. That's the end.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Buffet brawlers, glory holes gone wrong, cannibalistic castration cabins, public poopers? These are just a few of the crazy topics you'll hear covered on Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the pettiest podcast around. Whether you need a break from all that murdery true crime stuff, or just enjoy hearing hilarious stories told in a unique way, I got what you need. I'm Leroy Luna, your fearless host/chauffeur. So come hop in my minivan and let's go for a ride. I promise you probably won't be disappointed. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically everywhere you consume podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of the month, baby!
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.